All right, we're live.
We are live. In the words of one of the greatest, the best, the GOAT philosophers of our time, Gloria from White Men Can't Jump. Sometimes when you win, you really lose. Sometimes when you lose, you really win. And sometimes when you lose, you tie. And sometimes when you tie, you win. Because you know what? The Mets just went to Slam Diego. The big bad fucking Padres with their fucking lineup, the face of baseball, the coolest team in the world, fucking Ace Central, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and split the series, which are basically like the fucking Sandlot team, right? We have like Benny the Jet and like a bunch of fucking
the replacements.
Yeah, bunch of cretins. And we go out 13-8, I think was like the final score when it was all said and done. Yep. And boys, I feel like we fucking won that series.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I think, Clem, was it you that asked me, would you sign for a split before this? And I said, abso-fucking-lutely. You go into a West Coast swing into San Diego with 70% of your team on the DL, at least the important guys. I'll sign for a split every fucking time. And the fact, I think it was so huge that it was Jake and Stroman that got it done in the back half, where it was like we needed a stopper. We got it from Jake. We needed someone to carry the baton. We got it from Stro. Like, if those two can be a real 1-2 punch, I'm giving up on Thor at this point being anything like major. Carrasco, I think he's going to go the way of Dead Lowry. Like, I just don't think we'll ever see him. So it's really, I think, if it, like the front end is going to be Marcus and Jake and Marcus, and they did it, and it was just like, I just love when you win the way you're supposed to win. That's like the best sign to me. You know, it's awesome when we come back and we have a rally, or when things go crazy and the ball bounces our way and we win it. You need those breaks for sure, but you also just need, like, when Jake's on the mound, you need to win. When your number 2 is pitching, you need a good performance from him. And we just got that. We did that. Clutch hitting, like big hits from the right guys too. Even that, seeing it be Alonso and Dom Smith and Lindor getting on the board, like, it's not because I love Zeke, I love Billy McKinney, I love Blankenhorn, these fucking replacements names, but they're going to be gone. So you know what I mean? They're going to be up, they're going to be down, they're going to be gone. So we need it to be from the guys who will be here in August, September, and hopefully October. And like, we got it. So I think that was the best possible split you could have got.
Yeah, obviously, if it flips and you win the Lucchese star, and I mean, and listen, not getting perfect gamed, not getting no hit, that was a moral victory as well, because I was really getting
Lindor's the hero, no matter what happens from here on out. Lindor's the hero, and by the way, don't look now, but well above, gotten like 220 now, raised his average 40 points. He's 11 for his last 27 this week. Like his last 6, 7, 8 games has been really good. Just watch out. It's not. I was hoping that Lindor was going to have like a Cespedes run where all of a sudden it was like, whoa, like it almost makes up for the first couple months. And it appears like it's going to be more like slow and steady if it does happen. But like, don't look now. He's coming. Even like fucking dumb Frank tweeted me like, batting 180 is unacceptable. He's batting 220 now. He raised his average 40 points since then. So like, get it right. And I think the Lindorics are going to be upset during the summer. Nothing to argue about if he just continues on this trajectory. How about Pete getting it in on Chris Paddock? I mean, a lot of good things happened despite that only being a 4-game split. So
also thank God Lindor turned it around for this series, because Tatis was fucking amazing. Like, he is so good,
bro.
He's like the proof of like, just put the ball in play. He's electric. Everything he does, even like broken bat double, like nobody else is running that out and getting a double. Especially, he wasn't even supposed to play this series, and then he played all 4 games, and he did the night and day game the day after. Like, he's 22 years old, and he plays like he's 22 years old.
Yeah, he's a guy who it feels like he's gonna like almost change the way the game is played. Where it's like, people don't usually turn that into a double. I'm just gonna go to second. People don't steal home. I'm just gonna steal home. Like, he just plays the way, there's just an old man traditional way to play baseball, and everything from the bat flips and celebrations and the chain down to like some of the actual plays he makes on the field where he's like, I'm just going to do this differently. And I hoped coming into the season, I was like, Lindor, now that he's in New York, he's got a chance to be the face of baseball, both like with his play and then like his hair and his smile and the marketable side of him. Like he might be the real face of baseball. And that has not come to fruition just yet this year. Tatis firmly has that secured right now. So, I mean, that was like the fact that he hit that home run in the first game. I was like, oh boy, here we fucking go. But fine, I'll take it. And then to still take 2 from him, like, all right, great. You have one absolutely phenomenal player. Well, they got more than that, no doubt. But I'm saying, we took it and we played like a first place team does against another first place team. I love it.
And let's be clear. I want Fernando Tatis. If he wants to be the face of baseball, because that will save the sport. If his kind of style and other players start, emulating him as they come up and all that kind of stuff, then AJ and Keegan will have a sport to root for, as Steve Cohen is, trying to win multiple championships during their lifetime as well. And we can all just like, I don't want this sport to die now that fucking the rabbit has the gun. We finally have the gun. It's bullshit if this sport, no one cares about the World Series champions anymore. So I'm fine with that. I also,
more importantly though, you know what I will say? I will make an argument against who's the real face of baseball.
Goddamn right.
The best player on the fucking field every time he takes the field is Jacob deGrom. And he's doing it with the bat. He's batting. He has, I think he's 9 for, 60-something at bats. Jared Kelenick's like 8 for 80. So just wanted to put that stat out there. Jacob deGrom has more hits than Jared Kelenick. I think he's about to be sent down. So let's all relax with the Jared Kelenick tears, as always. But Jake is just, I said it last show, kind of, being like, this isn't truly realistic, but let's talk about it in the thought of maybe Jacob deGrom chases down Bob Gibson for the lowest ERA season ever, because he's what, 0.63 right now? 0.62. And so other people started to draw that same comparison. They're showing his stats, Pedro's stats in 99, and Bob Gibson's stats in his legendary year. And through this many starts, through, I believe, 9 starts at this point in the season, Jake's never going to catch anybody with Bob Gibson with innings pitched or complete games or anything like that. But as far as his whip and runs allowed, I mean, he's crushing the competition. Bob Gibson's season was so weird. 1.12 ERA, but he gave up a lot of hits and a lot of walks. Like, he had a lot of base runners. He pitched a fuck ton of innings too, so maybe that's why. But I mean, Jake is out here. He's got, like, nobody's even getting on base, let alone scoring. And so I don't know where he ends up ERA wise, or if he beats Bob Gibson or eclipses some of Pedro's numbers. But he's having one of the greatest seasons of all time so far. Period. Like, end of statement.
The numbers too, like. Through 9 starts, 80 and 2/3 for Gibson, 1.34 ERA. Pedro 68 and 1/3, 1.19, and then Jake 58 innings, 0.62, and it's right there. And like you said, Bob Gibson, I feel like when you got on base though, it was like you said, the RBI music baseball changes. Mm-hmm. The RBI baseball music changes. That's Bob Gibson. It just became like fucking
got better.
Megadeth. He's like,
well,
you
want to talk about getting better? How about that stat, Jake, getting better as you go into the game? His ERA goes down the 3rd time through the lineup. Can you pull that
down significantly?
Pull that graphic up. You had tweeted it from the We Gotta Believe Twitter handle. Everybody go follow that at Gotta Believe Pod. It's like the first time through the order, his ERA is like 1.5. Second time, it's like 1.0. And the 3rd time through the order, it's like 0.59 or something insane. When everybody in the world, every pitcher, it's always like the 3rd time through the order is when, you get a little tired and players figure you out and all that shit. Jake is out here getting stronger. He's getting stronger as seasons go on, as he gets older, and as games go on. It's like he's Benjamin Button. It's crazy.
And he's doing this at what? It's not like he was this hype prospect from day one, and he's just getting better with age. He cut his hair, signed a deal with the devil. And I mean, the stats too, they're Tony Gwynn shit, right? So, Jacob deGrom, this was Sarah Langs. She had all these things. He has a 0.62 ERA through 9 starts this season. That's the lowest ERA by any pitcher through the first 9 starts since earned runs became an official stat in 1913. So that's a 1913 stat we're going to.
Yeah, people keep saying to me, like, it's only June, dude. I'm like, No. It's not only June. That's like a third of the way through. And if you look at these stats, it's all he's the best in this statistic this late in the season. So for what he's doing, June is actually the most impressive part of it.
Lowest batting average through 9 starts since at least 1901. Bob Turley with a 124. Jacob deGrom second, 128. Who the fuck is Bob Turley? I have no idea. But he was fucking awesome in 1955. Yeah. And then the last one here, Jacob deGrom has a .57 whip through 9 starts. That's the lowest whip by any pitcher through his first 9 starts of a season since at least 1901. Which again, they were throwing, like I said, like rocks, and they weren't even baseballs at that point.
Dude, I mean, he's out. You're getting half a base runner every inning. So here's the stat. It was batting average, not earned runs, but a $143, a $149, and then 0.59 the third time through. Like, when you think you finally have figured it out, I don't know if that's like by design, if he's rope-a-doping, if he's taking it easy, if he's not throwing certain pitches until the third time through. But I mean, he is, if there's ever a season to break a record, I almost feel like, as long as he stays healthy, it's like Cy Young, like no doubt. You know what I mean? It feels like inevitable. Like this feels like it will be his masterpiece. And I wonder if maybe he just keeps getting better. But you got to think.
That's the funny thing. It's like every time he throws, you're like, oh, this is going to be his greatest. Like the first Cy Young, you're like, well, this is his best season. They're like, well, he can't top it. And then he does it again. You're like, well, that's his greatest season. It's insane. And the thing with that is like the way that he's approaching it. It's not that he's going to win the Cy Young. Like that's the afterthought this year. It's like, well, he could actually win the MVP for the first time since Verlander. And like, oh, is he on the Mets Mountain Rushmore? It's like, yeah, but he might end up on like the regular Mountain Rushmore if he continues to do shit like this. Like that's the crazy part.
And I saw someone say, imagine if Jake got run support, or if he was at a real club with run support. Because I will obviously no arguments that he doesn't get the run support, but like the past couple starts he has, and he's now pitching for a first place team who has been in first for. I think it's, it was 31 days was this tweet I saw like over the weekend. So we're talking like over a month straight now, 35 straight days in first place while having, being ravaged with injuries. And Jake just keeps going out there doing the damn thing. And it's not like he is some, Johan type of ace just withering away on some garbage club. Like he's on a first place team who's sure they could always give him more runs. But as of right now, everybody's doing their part to just make this be and I also think that like we have finally completely stopped talking about wins. Like it's just not even a number on the graphic. It just does not matter as a society anymore, which is the way it always should have been. So even if there are still some run support issues, I'm sure there'll be a couple more games where he loses 1-0. There'll be a couple more games where the bullpen blows it. But as far as the things he can control, I think you're going to see one of the greatest seasons ever. And I mean, I would think that eventually, you got to start to be on the downside of things. Like you're on the other side of 30. You would think. I don't know. Maybe not.
He keeps throwing faster. That fucking thing just keeps going up and up. This stat here, Kyle. deGrom has thrown 60 pitches of 100+ miles per hour over his last 2 starts. That's like, and 33 in 33 alone is the most in one game since 2008. He just keeps going up and up and up.
33 pitches at 100 miles an hour is fucking bananas.
To piggyback off of that, Alyssa Rose texted me. She's like, did you guys talk about this yet? He's thrown this year in all of Major League Baseball, there's been 127 pitches thrown over 100 miles an hour. 74% of those are Jacob deGrom. He's thrown it 94 times. And the next closest person is Ohtani. He's only done it 8 times.
Wow.
All year.
I'm so surprised that both, I mean, I guess total, never mind. I was going to, usually it's a reliever who comes in and just throws absolute fucking gas. But if you're talking about total number of pitches thrown, obviously starters are going to have the edge there. But it's the fact that he's doing it as a starter and he does it. It's not like, let me come into this game, let me throw 102, 10 times and then I go ice my shoulder. He's throwing it 33 times over the course of a start, hitting triple digits.
It's so effortless. Like he's got the most consistent, effortless. Like I can't even describe, because some of the guys you look at them and you're like, well, that guy's gonna blow out his elbow in 2 months. This one, he's just it's so fluid. He releases the ball further into the plate than anybody else. Everything he does, he just
when he gets that, when he lets go of the ball, I feel like he's throwing it at 40 feet. You know what I mean? I feel like, it's like halfway to the mound, to the plate before he lets go. And I can't wait to see absolutely no change in his numbers now that MLB's cracking down on foreign substances. Just curious that Garrett Cole goes out there and gets rocked for five runs after that new rule comes out, and you got Trevor Bauer shaking in his boots. The fact that What's-Her-Face had that tweet up, or that Instagram saying legalize pine tar, it was like, oh my God, you guys aren't even hiding it. And then there's Jake, who's like, yeah, whatever, bro. Give me this. Give me dead ball. Give me live ball. Give me scuffed ball, no ball. Give me whatever. He could pitch with a fucking lacrosse ball and probably do the same thing. The guy is unstoppable. He is inevitable.
He won the Cy Young the year where everyone's was hitting bombs left and right. That was our Cy Young winner. The best pitcher in baseball was Jacob deGrom. And the fact that not only that, but that little fuckhead Dodger fan was trying to call him out because he touched his belt, touched his glove, and then the whole entire bullpen, the starters, the catchers just came out and just were fucking throwing beanbags.
Although I will say it's kind of funny when everyone was like, look at this. Like, yeah, it's all his teammates. Of course they're gonna say,
Kevin, we're a fucking team. We're a unit. We all.
No, I do love it, but I wish some opponents were saying the same thing, because that dude. I feel like now Trevor May had some interesting thoughts on that new rule. And I have been in contact with him, and I think we're going to get him on the show, hopefully, because I said I'd love to talk to him about that. Also, his little spat with Frank the Tank. But it's interesting. Trevor May's point of view was we're just going to be blindly harassed by the league, accused of cheating arbitrarily, whenever they decide to. I could see that being, it's like the stop and frisk of baseball. You know what I mean? It's you're violating us. But also it's one of those things if you got nothing to hide, we're not talking about constitutional rights here. We're talking about fucking baseball. So if you got nothing to hide, then what's the issue? So, I guess it was just that rampant that Major League Baseball was we got to do something about this.
I was talking to Clem about it before we jumped on, and it's not even that they're just using pine tar. There's this thing called spider tack, and the world's strongest man invented it so that they didn't drop those fucking boulders on their feet. So it is they have to throw it 90 just to get it to get it off their fingertips.
That's what's weird to me. It doesn't. It seems. I've never pitched, so I wouldn't know. But I would think you wouldn't want that. But I guess you just get more break, and you get more if you can have grip on it. But it feels like something if a ball was stuck to your hands, it wouldn't be easy to pitch. But what do I know?
That's like the spitball back in the day. They moved too much type of thing where they had to get rid of it. So but at the same time, it's these guys are throwing so hard. That's the flip side. I don't think they should be able to use it. But on the flip side, it's these guys don't know where the ball's going, and now they're throwing at 100 miles an hour, and
true.
Then you end up with a million PRs.
Very true.
You know what I mean? You're much more likely to get hit with the ball.
Yeah. I wonder also, is this another issue with the ball being deadened and runs being down? If they're all right, well, we fucked with the ball too much, we can't fix that. But if we stop this over here, maybe runs will be back up. But it seems like they got all sorts of issues on their hands. Will be interesting to see if there's anybody who blatantly okay, this guy was obviously using something every single game. But I don't think Jacob deGrom's that dude. He could pitch anywhere, anytime, with anything under any circumstances. And he's
beyond reproach, Kevin. Beyond reproach.
He is beyond reproach. As far as the rest of the gang, Pete Alonso getting that knock off of Chris Paddock.
That was awesome.
Chris Paddock, afterthought. See you later. I love SNY's tweet. It was the 2019 Rookie of the Year and 3-time Rookie of the Month. Pete Alonso gets base knock off of Paddock, obviously jabbing at him from their little beef over Rookie of the Year. With the Lindor home run, like I said, good signs all around. And I just forget, I almost start to forget that Conforto, McNeil, JD Davis, Nimmo are all still gone. I'm almost starting to love these little fucking scrubs on the team. It's absolutely amazing. It's as long as you're winning, it's fun to watch. The minute that the carriage turns back into a pumpkin and it's midnight and we suck, I'm gonna be all right, we need the cavalry back. But as long as we maintain first place here, it's kind of fun to root for guys who aren't millionaires, who aren't mailing it in, who aren't divas. These guys are this is like watching remember when I covered the Cyclones for a summer, watching single A baseball. These kids like 19 years old, truly playing for like the love of the game, truly playing for like their shot on a roster. It's awesome as long as you win. As long as we're winning, I'll watch Billy McKinney and company.
And fucking, how about James McCann too? McCann's getting hot now, and
I wanted to save this. I was going to tweet it, but I saved it for the podcast. Official apology to James McCann forever. Even I said like a few more months of this, and he might be the worst signing up on the Mount Rushmore for Mets worst signings. Fully apologize. That's not to say that he is everything that we dreamed of, but White Sox fans praised him so much, and then he was so bad, and I overreacted. He's been great as of late. And certainly, if he even settles in somewhere in between the two extremes, will be well worth the $40 million. But right now, he's the hottest goddamn bat in the world. So, Frank, shut the fuck up.
He has hit 5 home runs over his last 40 at bats and is batting 300 over like the same time span. We're in the office too, and Chuck, who's a diehard White Sox fan, he was yelling because McCann became Frank's tagline, and every time he gets a hit, Chuck would go to Frank, say his name. Say we have Sons of Uribe fucking passion boiling out here. I don't need a Sons of Uribe civil war starting over James fucking McCann. James McCann is friend. He's back to friend now.
Yep.
He's friend.
All doing it while still doing that, amazing behind the plate defensively and calling games, which is what kind of saved his ass in the first place. So, fuck anybody who's still trying to hate on him. If he proved you wrong, he proved you wrong. And Trevor May's like, he's been bad, he's been good, he's been up, he's been down. It all kind of depends on whether he's rested and you see which side of Trevor May you get. But that's the nature of the bullpen, and I think he's been good enough and somewhat consistent enough that like give him some slack. I love him jawing back at Frank in a peaceful way. Frank totally tucked his tail and ran, like totally backtracked. And Trevor May had the chance to dunk on him there, but rather just said like, "It's all good, man. Let's go Mets." Like being peaceful. So
did you see Trevor May the other day too? Someone's like, "I dropped you from my fantasy team." He goes, "LOL, who gives a shit?" And I was like, "That's the kind of guy that's the mindset I need in the Mets locker room."
No, absolutely. I mean, and that's where you feel like, again, I've said it how many times, like, who's the guy on this team you don't like? Everybody is really likable, and they're just, are they still, is it 3.5 still? Maybe I think at one point over the weekend is 4.5, whatever it is. Comfortable lead as far as the league goes this year right now. Everything's pretty tight. And splitting, like in the first 2 of that series, I was like, oh boy, we are in trouble because, like this could get ugly now that we're playing the real competition. So now to come back home and who do we have in between? Because I know we got the Padres this weekend.
We got a day off today and then Orioles for 2.
Orioles. Okay. So hopefully maybe fatten up on them before going back to war with the Padres. But listen, there's one first place team in New York just doing their thing right now. And I'm happy to be on the right side of it. So
Kev's feeling himself right now. I'm happy for you.
Great.
You said this team is different. You've come on to the 96ers. You joined before the season started. We're one fucking bandwagon looking the same direction. I'm very happy about that. Frank, I think, has like galvanized you onto this even more, which I think is a good thing.
I'm not on your bandwagon. I'm starting my own bandwagon, the 97ers.
You motherfucker. God damn it.
I one up you. Like, Price is right. No, I am feeling myself. And watching Tommy and Hubs be like, fire Cashman. This team sucks. They've got no heart. They got no spirit. Like, kind of the polar opposite over here. Like, got nothing but fight, nothing but chemistry, nothing but personality. So, again, it's like, I'll take any type of winning we can get. But winning with a team that's like fun and cool and likable makes it that much. Then it feels like, cliche baseball where it's like Americana, where all it is just like boys playing ball and give me a Coors Light, a hot dog, and some baseball, and we're all happy. So it's fun right now. Famous last words. We'll see what happens, but we'll wrap it up here on this. It's still early, but usually by June 7th, we are crying our eyes out. We're talking about Kunseling. We're talking about the June swoon. So not to say that this team is, a juggernaut who's destined to win the World Series or bust, but every stop of the way so far, they've been different from the past teams that are bums. When we usually lose, we win. When we usually bust, the breaks go our way, we make it happen, we're clutch. And every time I tell Clem, it feels different than it has in years gone by.
Yeah, like the fire of Mother's Day would still be smoldering right now if it was any other season.
Yes.
But like it's like a game of Candyland. There's those little landmarks. You get past all those little landmarks. We made it past opening day. We made it past Mother's Day. We made it past Memorial Day weekend. Father's Day is next on the list. We got to go through all those things to get to the fucking goal, which is celebrating responsibly in the Canyon Heroes with our Coors Lights, our punch and our cake. We're getting there right now. Father's Day's next on the list. Get through the quote unquote June swoon with above 500. And then we fucking rock and roll. Everyone comes back.
And not to mention, everyone comes back. And Uncle Stevie makes a move or two at the deadline. Ooh. And that's like pulling out, Queen Frostine and just shooting ahead. We might time travel right to the fucking.
I love that bitch, Queen Frostine, so much. Oh, she's the best.
Do you know recent boxes? They call her Princess Frostine.
Oh. She got demoted. I was furious when I saw that because
she doesn't have the rhyme anymore.
Cheats at fucking Candyland, and she just like hides Queen Frostine. And I'm like, Princess Frostine?
That doesn't even rhyme. It makes no sense. So maybe we find that Cespedes. We have that Queen Frostine at the deadline, and things get even better. But for right now, replace Mets, keep rolling. Good teams, bad teams. We keep doing the thing. So you have to believe because there's no reason not to right now.
We gotta believe. Give me that Frostine, Uncle Stevie.
Let's go.